Alright, so we just saved. Now we're going to head over here to the 5th Turtle Paradise Flyer. Now I made a little mistake. I end up coming back here later and grabbing it, but in one of these rooms here there's an elixir that you can grab. There's also a materia that we can't grab yet that we're going to come back and get later in the game, which I believe is when I get the elixir. But there's an elixir over there in that area that you can grab. So after we get the flyer, we're going to head back upstairs and talk to Red 13's grandfather. Right beforehand, we're going to head into this room. There's a Materia Shop. There isn't that many to choose from, but there's two that you have not been able to buy so far, and they are extremely valuable. I was mentioning this earlier in one of my walkthrough steps, but you have the HP Plus, so I would strongly recommend at least getting one of those along with an MP Plus. I never had that much issues with not having enough MP, so I only bought one, but HP was always a big thing for me, so I always have HP Plus on, and then when I master it, I immediately put the new one on someone else. Okay, now all you have to do here is just find anyone. They'll be all around the town, and talk to one of them. Kate Sith actually is the closest person, and then once you talk to him you can choose whoever you want for your party, and it doesn't really matter who you pick. It's just so Bugenhagen can show you this room here. Now that that's done, you're going to head back down to the entrance where the fire is, and you'll see all your party members sitting there. Now this part here, once again, has to do with your gold saucer date. Whoever you like the most, you should talk to them first. I didn't do this in any particular order, I just talked to everybody. You'll want to save Red 13 for last. Now, once you pick your party, this will be the party that you have when you go down into a dungeon with Bugenhagen. This is also where you go on your next Fort Condor mission. So, if you want to go to the next Fort Condor battle, this is the small window where you go. This is also why you didn't want your buggy to break down, because right now, as Bugenhagen is going up, you want to head out of the city, back into your buggy, and all the way back to Fort Condor. Then if that's what you choose to do, when you finish the mission, you come back to Cosmo Canyon, and then head up to where we are about to go. I didn't end up going. I only did specific ones because there was only certain items that I wanted to get. But if you want to get all the Fort Condor battles done, this is where you go. Save real quick. And you see Bugenhagen there, just follow him. Once you hit yeah, then the mission will start. So make sure you're ready before you select yeah. You want to do the Fort Condor mission, do it before then. Alright, once you get down here, you want to be sure that you grab absolutely everything because you will only be down here once. You can never come back. Now there's only 3 enemies in this whole area. Well, technically 4, but 3 main enemies that you will fight. So here's the first one. So just to get it out of the way, you're probably going to get it whether you want it or not, but just to get it out of the way here, I tried manipulating this guy because he has the death sentence enemy skill that you need. So this took me a few tries to get, but once I got him manipulated, I had him cast death sentence to Cloud and Red 13 because they're the ones carrying the enemy skill materia. Now these little cave entrances here, it gives you the opportunity to break this rock or leave it alone. I chose to break all of them just because I wanted extra fights. If you don't want to fight these guys, you don't have to. I'll show you which one you actually have to go through. I think there's 4 of them. There's only one of them that you need to go through because it opens the door to the next entrance. So if you don't want to fight, then just go to the cave that I go to that opens the door. So I'm going to show you each enemy that I encounter one time, and then after that I'm just going to skip the rest of my fights. They're really not difficult. So the one that you want to go through is that one on the left here. This is the last enemy that you encounter. The one in the back we've already seen, but these worms we haven't yet. If you might notice, they look similar to an enemy we fought before in the Mithril Mines. It's pretty much the same thing, except he can attack you and cause poison. But other than that, he's pretty much the same. He has more HP, obviously. But still not very hard. Okay, so we want to go through this cave here. Break open the odd-shaped rock, and there the cave entrance is open. Alright, you see this darkened area right in front of me? Be sure not to sprint across that If you do, you'll run into the wall, which then pops out spikes, and it drains your HP. So be sure to walk over that area. We're going to head back down, and this is the added effect materia. I believe this is the only one in the game, so you definitely want to be sure to get it, or else you'll never get that materia. Next we're going to head up here. There's another chest. Can't get it that way, so we're going to have to head back down. First there's a chest down here. It's the black M phone for Kate Sith. That's all the treasures for this room. Now we head back up to the next area. Hey, now this is going to be the hardest room in this little area here. Now, I tried showing you here what each tunnel does. So if you take this far end one on the left, I kind of screwed up a couple times. But it takes you all the way around just to the next cave entrance on the other end. So that doesn't do you any good. The next one will take you straight to the spider web. And all these fights I'm going to show you because here's that fourth enemy that I was telling you about. You only fight them when you run into the spider web. Now these guys aren't very hard until they get close to death, and then they have a pretty nasty move that does a lot of HP. So you can't manipulate them. You can steal from them. You can get an ether from them, which is what I did in this battle. It took me forever to get it. So if you don't need an extra ether, I wouldn't even bother. But he is part of the reason why I had Ares in my party. I'm trying to get through her limit breaks as fast as possible, so that was part of it. The other reason is I have her third limit break right now, which lets our party be temporarily invulnerable, which really helps for his attack. That's extremely strong. It's called Stink Bomb. He only casts it when he's below 50% of his HP, but it does about 1,000 damage depending on what you have for your defense. So just be careful, and you want to be sure to have your HP up. So as you can see, it's pretty nice when you have this on because it does 0 damage. In the next battle I won't have it on. See, there it is. Just at 1,000 HP. So just be sure to keep your HP up when you're fighting these guys. So once we go through that spider web, we're going to head down here, and it looks like there's a dead end here, but if you go up just a little ways and then hit left or right on your D-pad, there's a little secret entrance you can get through. It takes you to this treasure, which is the fairy ring. I'd suggest putting it on because it protects you from poison and darkness, which the three main enemies can all cast poison or do some sort of poison or darkness. The next web will take us to the next room. So first we're going to head back down here to this web because there's a treasure chest that we can get once we get through. Alright, once you defeat him, just head up. And once we grab the chest, we're going to head back down and then up the path we originally came to the final spider web. Alright, now there's another secret passage. You just turn left right there, take you down to the last treasure chest. And now heading into this room is where we fight the boss. Now, there's a really easy way to beat the boss. Some people think it's cheating. I don't think it is personally, but he has two little henchmen that are flames. It's just like when you fought Hojo back at Shinra headquarters. He can just revive them if you destroy them. So I would just focus all your attacks on the main guy. His weakness is Holy, which is healing things. So if you were to cast Cure on him, that's going to be your most deadly attack. So what I end up doing is, if you should have an X potion, well, if an X potion heals you all the way, if someone who is weak against holy, it should kill them all the way. So that's exactly what I end up doing. I just throw an X potion at this guy. If you want to try and beat him with your regular attacks or whatever, that's totally fine. It's completely up to you. Now, unfortunately, I apologize. For some reason, my PVR stopped recording, and I missed the rest of this. So once you beat him, you'll have to see for yourself what happens in the video. If you caught a quick glimpse of that green ball there, that's the gravity materia. Be sure you grab that before you head into the next room, and then you'll see what happens after that. Once that little cutscene is over, you'll head back down to this fireplace. You pick your party for moving on to the next place, which is Nibbleheim. Other than that, we're done with Cosmo Canyon. You'll see Red 13 decides to join you again after all. So that concludes this part. The next part will take place. I'll show you how to get the Vagiris Claw if you didn't do it the way I showed you before. And then we'll show you what happens in Nibbleheim.